Have you ever wondered if there's something beyond what your eyes can see? What if I told you that the world around us is influenced by invisible forces, constantly shaping our choices, thoughts, and even our destiny? That's right. The spiritual world is not a fairy tale or mere superstition. It's as real as the air we breathe. Yet most people go through life unaware of this dimension, battling struggles they don't even know exist. The truth is, what you consider a coincidence might actually be a sign of something much greater at work. Angels, demons, forces working both to protect and to tear you down. All of this is happening right now as you read these words. Sounds intense, doesn't it? And that's precisely why you need to understand how to navigate this hidden reality, strengthening yourself to face the invisible influences that impact your life daily. But here's the most important question. Are you ready to open your eyes and see what's truly happening around you? In this content, you'll discover not only what the spiritual world is, but also how to protect yourself, grow, and connect with what truly matters. Are you ready to change the way you think? Then let's get started. The spiritual world is like a hidden dimension, full of mysteries that many can't even imagine. It's fascinating how it walks hand in hand with the physical world, directly influencing decisions, thoughts, and even emotions. Have you ever stopped to think about those moments when something seemed to come out of nowhere and change your path? Often, spiritual forces are there, silent but powerful, shaping realities without us even noticing. It's no coincidence that the Bible speaks of spiritual battles occurring around us, even though our eyes can't see them. Angels and demons, two extremes of this reality, play crucial roles. Angels, protectors, and messengers often act in moments of danger, delivering people from adverse situations in almost miraculous ways. On the other hand, demons, representatives of evil, seek to open doors to destruction, vices, and conflict. Imagine those moments when bad decisions seem almost irresistible. It's no coincidence that such times arise when we are most spiritually vulnerable. Moreover, the impact of this invisible dimension goes far beyond the obvious. It affects relationships, career choices, and even emotional health. Many people describe the feeling of heaviness when entering certain places or interacting with specific individuals, clear signs of energies not belonging to the physical world. Recognizing this reality is the first step to navigating life with greater wisdom and discernment. But how can we understand such an intriguing dimension? The answer lies in the next topic. The Bible is a true guide for understanding the nuances of the spiritual world. In Ephesians 6 verse 12, the Apostle Paul states directly that our fight is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces in heavenly realms. This phrase, powerful in itself, helps us see beyond the tangible, showing that many of the battles we face are, in fact, reflections of something greater. It's as if we are in an invisible war where every decision counts as a strategic move. The accounts of prophets like Daniel and Ezekiel reinforce this view. Daniel, for example, had visions of beasts representing historical empires, not just to warn God's people about the future, but to show the connection between earthly events and spiritual forces. Think of the beasts as symbols of the great forces that shaped history, each with unique characteristics but all influenced by a divine purpose. Meanwhile, Ezekiel, with his vision of God's throne, reminds us of how grand and detailed the spiritual world is, filled with symbols that speak directly to our souls. These biblical passages, while inspiring, also have practical applications. They teach us to look at life with greater depth. When we face challenges, we can ask ourselves, what's happening in the spiritual background? More importantly, how can we strengthen ourselves to deal with these invisible forces? Knowing that this struggle exists isn't enough. We must learn to act strategically, which the next topic will begin to explore. The influence of the spiritual world in our lives is much more present than we imagine. Testimonies of miraculous deliverances, like accidents avoided by mere seconds, are often attributed to the work of angels. These heavenly beings work silently, protecting, guiding, and even inspiring people in moments of need. Remember that moment when something inexplicable happened, as if someone was pushing you in the right direction? It may have been an angel, invisible to the eyes but active in its actions. On the other hand, Demonic influences cannot be ignored. Demons act to sow chaos, leading people into addictions, discouragement, and destructive choices. Have you ever heard stories of people feeling a heavy presence in certain environments or during personal crises? These are clear signs of malevolent forces trying to gain ground. However, it's important to understand that evil only acts where there is room for it. A heart strengthened by faith and good spiritual practices is like a fortress difficult to invade. Recognizing these influences is crucial to maintaining balance. Imagine someone who always prays before making important decisions. This person not only seeks divine guidance, but also protects themselves against spiritual distractions. Practices like prayer, meditation, and maintaining positive thoughts help strengthen our connection with the divine while warding off negative energies. But how can we access this dimension more consciously? The answer lies in visions and divine purposes, which will be explored next. Spiritual visions are like open windows to a universe of meanings. In His wisdom, God allows certain individuals to experience these visions at specific moments, always with a greater purpose. Prophets like Daniel and John in Revelation had experiences so intense they shaped how we perceive the interaction between the spiritual and physical worlds. Daniel, for example, saw kingdoms rise and fall, revelations that not only prepared people for changes but also connected them to the divine plan. Imagine seeing the future of a nation through powerful symbols and metaphors. But don't think these experiences are restricted to the past. Many people today report visions, whether of angels bringing messages of peace or warnings about dangerous paths. Someone who went through a moment of intense prayer may describe feeling light or a presence around them. These manifestations are not mere coincidences. They are ways for God to remind us of His closeness. However, discernment is necessary. Not all visions are divine, and aligning them with biblical teachings is crucial to understanding their intentions. The purpose of visions always points to something greater, our connection with God and our role here on earth. They serve as reminders that we are part of something much bigger than the everyday. However, accessing this dimension is not something that happens by chance. There's a path of preparation, spiritual practices that make the mind and heart more receptive, and that's what the next topic will delve into. Connecting with the spiritual world requires intentionality and practices that strengthen the soul. Prayer, for instance, is a direct conversation with God, an opportunity to open your heart and seek guidance. Daniel prayed for 21 days before receiving a vision, showing that persistence is essential. For beginners, setting aside a daily moment of silence to talk with God is an excellent first step. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Start by giving thanks and asking for wisdom for the day's decisions. Fasting is another powerful practice, as it purifies the mind and spirit. More than giving up food, fasting is about creating space to consecrate yourself to God and hear His voice more clearly. Imagine someone deciding to fast for 3 days, accompanying this period with Bible readings and moments of reflection. This kind of dedication brings not only spiritual answers but also an inner peace that transcends human understanding. Finally, studying the Bible is fundamental to building a solid foundation of faith. It's not just about reading. It's about meditating, reflecting, and applying the teachings in daily life. Books like Psalms and Proverbs are great for those seeking inspiration and practical wisdom. When you dedicate yourself to these practices, the spiritual world stops being something distant and abstract, becoming a living and dynamic part of your journey. After all this is preparation for even deeper experiences that can completely transform your perception of life. Now that you understand how the spiritual world influences your life, the big question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue ignoring the invisible battles around you? Or will you strengthen your connection with the divine and take control of your destiny? Don't wait for miraculous signs or for someone else to make decisions for you. True transformation begins when you choose to act. Pray intentionally, seek discernment in the Word, and be prepared to recognize the forces shaping your reality. Think about it. How many times have you missed opportunities to connect with God and strengthen your spirituality? And what if those tough decisions you faced had been clearer with divine guidance? Life doesn't wait, and the choice to seek this connection is in your hands. So why not start now? Dedicate a few minutes to pray today, pick up your Bible, or simply reflect on how to align your life with what is eternal. And remember, the learning never stops. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue exploring themes as profound and impactful as this one. Let's journey together toward growth and discovery. May God bless you powerfully, and see you in the next video.